Hey everybody, it's Miss Karis, and I have a new video for you today. This one is going to talk about some of the judges' critiques that you might get on feedback and what they could mean and how we could maybe kind of like decipher it and figure it out what they're trying to tell us. Okay, so I think this is going to be a really good one. This is obviously not all of the comments that you can get. These are just some of the things that maybe I have said when I was judging, or I know that kids have gotten on their critiques. Okay, so here we go. Use your plie, right? You ever hear somebody say, use your plie, not enough plie, more plie, more plie. So typically that means that what they're seeing is that maybe your transitions are kind of weak. Maybe they seem flat, like going from this move to this move. Maybe they seem like flat, or we're not getting enough height in a leap. And so you're not plieing enough. If your transitions seem flat, you're not plieing enough. They're not dynamic enough. So using your plie typically means that we're seeing that your dancing is kind of like this, or you're not using the floors to actually help propel you into things. Okay. Get into the floor. I've heard this one before. I say this one a lot of times, like if I'm doing tap or like hip hop. I don't do a lot of hip hop, but tap and hip hop, I feel like those a lot of times you want to feel kind of like more grounded. Getting into the floor is using your plie more, bending your knees, kind of feeling like you're closer to the ground, maybe more that you're more connected to the floor. In tap, we want to do that because when we are in our plie and we're feeling grounded into the floor, we can really bend that foot appropriately. We can really articulate the foot so that we can get the sounds out. If you're doing hip hop, right, you don't want to be upright all the time. We need to see the levels to make that more dynamic. And so getting into the floor more creates tension and makes things look more exciting. Get more height in your jumps. You're not getting enough height in your jumps. Like maybe you're really pushing, but you're just kind of like saying like this. So we need to work on height in our jumps. How do we do that? I have a video currently on YouTube that talks about lifting versus pushing. And this is a big one for me. Students who use their upper body and use their back to get them off of the floor, as opposed to plieing using your legs to help push you off the floor. So if if it feels like you're kind of not getting enough height in your jumps, maybe you can't straighten your legs enough because there's not enough height in your jumps. You're probably not using your plie too much. You're not using your plie enough, and you might be lifting too much. Okay. You need to be a bit more grounded. So this kind of goes along, I think, also like getting into the floor and use your plie, but you need to be a bit more grounded. I would say this to somebody that I feel is not using their plie enough, but also perhaps off center, right? They seem kind of shaky. Maybe they're not finishing their movements. Maybe it's, they're kind of stiff and upright, and we're just sort of traveling through here, and you never really quite feel like you finish or complete a move. Or maybe I feel like you're hopping a lot throughout your moves and you just don't feel grounded. I don't feel like you're on your center. I don't feel like your rib cage is over your hips and you're really plieing into the floor, and that you are, just grounded, right? Okay. Watch your upper body. Someone just says that, hey, watch your upper body. That's kind of vague. What the heck does that mean? Why would somebody say that? Watch your upper body typically means, okay, that maybe your shoulders are too high. Maybe we look stiff. Maybe we're dancing like this. Okay. If I said to you, watch your upper body, hopefully you would, take a quick look in the mirror to see, oops, what's going on? Or maybe you would just take stock, inventory mentally. Oh, what do I feel? Oh, I feel tension here. She must mean that it's my shoulders, right? So I'll say that if maybe we're not dancing with good posture, right? So maybe if we're kind of dancing like with sort of this like hunched over, rounded back, like, hey, watch your upper body, could mean make sure that we really have nice posture, make sure that our shoulders aren't up. Maybe your upper body is kind of weak or lazy, right? So maybe you're not really lifting it and using it as much as you possibly can. So check shoulders and check posture, right? Energy to the fingertips. Have this energy to the fingertips. What does that mean? Energy, cha, right? Spider-Man. Okay. What does that mean? So usually if I said to a student energy all the way out to the fingertips, it means that we're getting kind of lazy towards the end. So I'll see you, let's say that we're, stretching the arm out front. Maybe we're stretching, we have some energy here, but we kind of, die at the end. It's kind of this. And I need you to understand that it's the hand that also needs to have energy, not stiff, right? We don't want to do this unless we're doing Thriller or something, we're doing a piece that requires it. But typically, energy is not being stiff, and it's, not this. Energy is energy. They're awake, right? So your hands are awake. Your fingers are awake. It's those finishing touches when you're trying to create a line in your body, whatever that line is. If I want this, my hand to go out to the side, if that's the line I'm looking for, this kills that line, right? So we want to have energy all the way out to the fingertips, or maybe this is the line that I need, right? And I have a flexed hand here, and I'm kind of doing this. Well, that's not really a flexed hand. Energy to the fingertips, right? So check your arms, check your hands. Watch your technique. What does that mean? Watch your technique. Okay, so that's kind of a big, broad umbrella term. And maybe they said that because you had just done a pirouette or a leap or some kind of trick, right? And so they said that because typically if you're doing, like, say you're doing a pirouette and they say, hey, watch your technique, a lot of students know what the proper rules are for doing a pirouette. So, a lot of times we don't even have to say, hey, straighten that leg. Make sure the ankle is straight and not sickled. Make sure our rib cage is closed, yada, yada, yada. We can just say, watch your technique. If you've been hearing it, if you've been training for a while, it kind of means all of that. Generalized good technique. So if you're doing a jazz pirouette and it's in passe, that means straight supporting leg, nice high passe, making sure the ankle, right, is connected, right? And that's that really pretty line, upper body, arms, blah, 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 blah. If it's a turned out pirouette, a ballet pirouette, or your hips open, right? Are you feeling supported underneath? Is that knee open? Are you using your external rotators? Are your arms lifted? Is, good posture? Are you spotting? That's kind of general technique. I don't think I would say, I don't, that's kind of a big term. If I watched the entire dance and all I said to you was, watch your technique, that's really broad, like for what? Just in general? Okay. But I would think about when they said that, at what point in the dance they said, watch your technique, because they're probably referring to a specific move that you just did. Okay. More faces. I need more faces, more faces. What does that mean, right? More faces usually means that we're not performing. We're not doing anything. We're just kind of, right? We're just there. We showed up. Here we are. Excellent. So I need you to smile, or I need you to look sad, or I need there to be life. Life. Typically, if it's more faces, right? That's like, I need more life in your face. If you're doing a dance that's smiley, I need to see more smiles. You're dropping your face. Maybe you start with it and you go, no, I was smiling, you're posed and you're ready to go and you smile. And then halfway through the dance, because you're concentrating, you've lost it. All right. So again, at what point in the dance did that person say, I need more faces? Maybe there's a point in that dance where you'll lose it, even though you started with it. Okay. Point your toes. Point your toes does not mean do this. Point your toes means stretch your ankle, which is why I know a lot of teachers will say stretch your ankle. I have tried to say stretch your ankle, right? So awkward, right? So this is not, I do not have a good stretch. I have really flat feet, but pointing your toes is not just crunching your toes, right? You want to try and get the top of the foot, right? So some kids are just like, yay, I'm pointing my toes. No, you're not. You're crunching them. You want to stretch the top of that foot, right? So pointing your toes means stretch your ankles. Strong arms. I need strong arms. What does that mean? It means that whatever is going on, whatever positions your arms are going through, they're probably not connected to your back. If it's not connected to your back, the arms are going to look kind of sloppy and floppy and probably weak. So if you were to dance like this, right, you can see I'm, my rib cage as I move, my rib cage is kind of all over. I'm allowing it to move. I'm not connecting my arms into my back. So I get this picture, right, as opposed to really stretching the arms, right? Or I get this picture as opposed to really holding it in a pretty second position, things like that. Stronger arms means we need to connect to the back and we need to engage our muscles a bit more and think about the picture that we're making, right? Okay. Nice moment. Something positive, right? I've heard that before. I've said that before. Oh, that was a nice moment. Oh, lovely moment. Oh, pretty. Oh, that was magic, right? Or all of those things. What does that mean? Nice moment. What did I do? Basically, what they're telling you is at that very specific point in time, everything came together. The face, whatever expression you happen to have on your face, worked with whatever move you did or whatever pose you held. The technique was there, the face was there, and it was that point in the song that made sense for the move that you did, and it all came together. And that nice moment, or ooh, that was magic, or yes, anything like that, we want as much of those, as many of those as we can get in your piece, because that's it felt something. It causes an emotional response. So we're telling you, hey, your dancing just gave me an emotional response. More energy. They say more energy. You need more energy. So more energy means more energy. You're looking kind of lazy, tired, maybe disinterested, maybe your posture, bad posture looks a lot like this, like you're tired, lazy, bored, don't care, blah, blah, blah. Right. And maybe you absolutely love dance. This is your favorite thing in the world, but this does not give a confident persona, right? A happy to be here persona. People don't typically think of a happy, excited person as standing like this. So more energy could mean, hey, pick yourself up, lift your chin, and punch out your moves more. Maybe it's not this, maybe it's pa, boom, right? Boom, boom, strong, solid movements. Maybe it's lifting, there's that reach. I want to see a little bit more reach. I want you to push it, finish the moves more, jump higher, put more into it. But that also means that you have to use your plie more. You have to work through the feet more in order to make things look bigger and more exciting. You have to work your body more. So posture, energy, plie. Okay, and this is the last one I have. Watch your sounds, right? This is for tap, right? What else would it be? Watch your sounds. So that's kind of what does that mean? Well, in tap, we want things to be crisp and clean. And tap, unless you're doing like a soft shoe where that's different. But if you're not doing soft shoe, you want your sounds really crisp and clean. And sometimes if we're using the wrong part of the tap or too much of the tap and it sounds scrapey, right? And it just sounds sloppy and we can't quite hear what it is that you're trying to do. That's really what we're telling you is I can kind of see it. I think that, that was a shuffle ball change, or that was a Manhattan, but the sounds are really not there. And if the sounds are not there, that's also a pretty good clue that you're not articulating your feet enough. You're not grounded, right? We said earlier, you're not articulating the feet, you're not grounded, your sounds aren't clear. So it all kind of goes back to that. All right. So I think that's it. Those are all the points that I had. I'm sure you guys can come up with a bunch more. Please write in the comments. Let me know of comments that you've gotten by judges and you're like, what the heck does this mean? I can't figure it out. Maybe you and I can figure it out together. Please, if you've made it to the end of this video, awesome. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.